Hello, YouTube, and hello, Ninth Age community. This is Charles with Evershade Gaming, and I've got another Ninth Age battle report. This is Game 5 of Buckeye Battles. Empire Sonnstahl once again facing Kingdom of Equitane. Yes, I played 3 Kingdom of Equitane armies at Buckeye Battles. This last game was Refused Flanks and Spoils War. Let's get into it. All right, the last game at Buckeye Battles, playing against Kingdom of Equitane again for some mysterious reason. So I have the table side with the field. This battlefield is quite interesting for Refused Flank because we have these 2 enormous hills in very crucial spots in the board. And those hills are going to play, I think, definitely played pivotal points in our deployment, and will also play pivotal points in this game. So we got our 3 markers down, and my opponent takes Druidism on a single master. He's got Stone Skin, Summer Growth, and 20 Runes, and Master of Earth. And then in Cosmology Master's got Unity Divergence, Touch of the Heart, Perception Strength, and Quicksilver Lash. And then the Alchemy Adept's got Word of Iron and Silver Spike. So here's my deployment. My opponent picked table sides, so I got to deploy first. So starting on left, going to the right, I've got my 5 riders, got my Pegasus Adept, I've got my 40 spears, my Prince on Dragon, my 20 handgunners with full command, champion with a repeater handgun, Artificer with a repeater handgun, Wizard Master, and BSB all hanging out in those handgunners. Then I've got a steam tank, 45 heavy infantry with halberds, a giant, and 3 knights of Sun Griffin on the far flank. My opponent actually sort of, I think, counterploys in a very interesting way, kind of castles up on the other side, and he's got his 3 Pegasus Knights on the left, his Questing Knights, they're those black, sort of blackish riders, in towards the left, next to Pegasus Knights, his big block of Knights of the Realm with a BSB and the Damsel in it, and I believe they had the banner last charge, but I can't exactly remember. Then he's got his 8 Grail Knights with his Duke. Duke's got like Divine Judgment, tough dude on the charge. Don't want to. I think he's got Might too. And then he's got 2 units of small Knights of the Realm in front of maybe 24, it looks like, bows, so longbows. So definitely look in the comments for the full readout of my opponent's army list, but oh, and then he's got, actually way on the far side, he's got another unit of, I think those are the mounted yeomen on that side of the board. Yeah, on the far right flank. I don't think they were knights. I don't think they were scoring. Yeah, I don't know why they're all the way over there. Maybe they are scoring. Maybe they are another core knight unit. Maybe like Knights Aspirin or something like that. I can't remember. All right. Going into Vanguards, the riders move up since we got turn 1. I'm going to be able to swing around the flanks, do some nice pistol shooting real close. Always fun to do. And Empire Sonnstahl turn 1. A little blurry, but we move up. The Knights of the Sun Griffin get on one of the markers. Yeah, I want to say that that's just a mounted yeoman unit, and it's not a cavalry unit, because I wasn't even worried about moving up. And even if it was 5 lances, I mean, maybe I would have been fine, but maybe would have thought about it a little bit more. But yeah, I'm pretty sure it's mounted yeoman on that side of the board. And everyone moves up pretty aggressively, trying to get those markers, start picking them up, start holding on the spoils. And then this hill was just delightful because I could just put my dragon right behind it, and I just felt like my opponent was in a tough spot where if he moves any of his lance blocks on it, when he can't charge me, but if he moves up on it, I can just charge him. And I was okay with how that worked because I had more offensive shooting and magic and things just to pick on him. I mean, he had Druidism, so he's going to be able to get things back. But I felt I was in a very happy spot at this point. I do a Quicksilver Lash, kill 2 knights here. The handgunners open up and they just blow through one of those Knights of the Realm. That was incredible. Actually, looks like he's only got 16 archers. I have to say, my opponent's army, gorgeous. And I really enjoyed it too because not only was it really nice looking, is I kind of love seeing a not GW army. And King of Equitane definitely do that one of the best. There's so many historical ranges to pull from. But yeah, this was a very fantastic looking army and a very beautiful army. And we'll definitely see more of it as we play this game. Shooting goes well over here. Cannon kills one of the Pegasus Knights, and then I do 3 more wounds with the Riders, so I was very happy about that. And this is going into my opponent's turn 1. So he moves up one of his knights to sort of just chaff up the steam tank, so it can't really go too much more forward, which was okay, no problem there. And then my opponent really just kind of shuffled back a little bit. I think he kind of also realized that the hill was going to cause problems. And I think he kind of thought, well, let me see what I can do before I just sort of commit. And one of the things he does is he moves his Pegasus right over and he brings out his Green Knight. So Green Knight's hanging out over here. He's going to see what he can do to. He's actually a decent counter to the dragon, considering he's got a good Aegis save and he's strength 6. So I thought that was a fair play by my opponent. My opponent puts Stone Skin up on the last remaining Pegasus Rider to see if he can just keep him alive. I mean, he's only got 1 wound at this point, so it's kind of important to see if he can just survive. So going to Empire Sonnstahl turn 2, I start moving pretty aggressively over with my Knights of Sun Griffin as fast as they can. They can only go 7 inches at a time, but they want to get back to the battle. And other than that, yeah, we're pretty much just I think what happens here is we charge the giant at those Knights of the Realm, and they flee, and they go to be right about there on that hill. So we end up sort of getting a little stuck, and then I actually tried to hit them with my steam tank to get rid of them. One, because I didn't want the steam tank to go too far forward, and one, I thought that'd be good use of the steam tank this turn, and I missed him by just about an inch or two, yeah, that was about it. So unfortunately, they're still there, but I'm going to see if I can just maybe get rid of them with magic and shooting. And other than that, the heavy infantry get on the other marker to pick it up. Yeah, we pull back just a little bit. I was able to put a wound with the riders on the Green Knight. Kind of was trying to see if I could get rid of him with just magic because he is a tough piece. And I feel like I'd still had good control of the hill, even with those kind of 2 units running about. Yep, so I put another wound on him here. So I might have put 2 wounds on him here with my shooting. So I felt pretty good about that. He only had 1 wound left. I know he's got Druidism, but I was hoping, I knew I was in a good spot where the Green Knight couldn't charge, so he couldn't, the Green Knight had kind of blocked the Questing Knights in too, so I felt really solid about where my placement was. And then my opponent makes this move to be a lot more aggressive with those 2 kind of like little pieces of his army. And as you can see, I couldn't get rid of those Knights of the Realm, unfortunately. So what kind of ends up happening here is I'm playing a really cagey game. And my opponent moves up and puts some pressure on the hill. And I mean, the worst case scenario, the Green Knight gets into, I don't know, maybe the block of spears. He's got a pretty long charge to get into handgunners. But we'll see what happens in the magic phase. Because he gets Summer Growth off, and he's able to heal a decent amount of wounds. So the Green Knight only goes back to having no wounds on him, and he gets the whole Pegasus Knight back. And I was having trouble stopping these Druidism spells, because I would have liked to have kept just the one dude there. And unfortunately, I couldn't quite manage it. His shooting takes out a couple of my handgunners, no problem. So then I kind of decide I'm, I'm thinking like, this is the last game of Buckeye Battles. I don't know why I'm playing so cagey. Why don't we just actually play a fun game here? So I just decide, let's open this bad boy up. And the dragon charges the Pegasus Knights. And the steam tank comes in the flank. And the heavy infantry with spears charge the two Knights of the Realm that are in front of him, with the possible overrun into the Pegasus Knights. I had this kind of weird kind of thought process going on here that I wanted to try. And I put alchemical fire, and then this is where I feel like the only part where the plan kind of fell apart is I failed a discipline 8. I had discipline 9 on the riders, and I failed a discipline 8 check to see if they could march. And I was gonna march. I was gonna march block the BSB's unit, which is the big unit with the red shields, the big unit of Knights of the Realm. And I put perception of strength on the general's unit so that it's a little bit harder for him when he goes it. Because at this point, I'm accepting that the dragon's going to get into combat and it's going to be a tough combat. And I wanted to put alchemical fire on the Grail Knights, but I couldn't reach it, so I just ended up putting it on this one, I guess. But yeah. So here is the rest of our movement. I think we just go forward. We kill one Grail Knight with the handgunners. I think they might have the banner rolling, but either way, it's just tough. And then we're kind of moving up with the heavy infantry just to try and support later on. And the giant's moving up. The giant actually tried to charge the peasant bowman. It was like probably like 11 or something like that. I was on the hill and I failed it. Even with the reroll, and I just go forward 3-4 inches. And he passed his terror test. So that was a bit of a bummer, but that's okay. And my opponent finally decided to also chaff up the Grail Knight, or the Knights of Sun Griffin, to keep him a little bit farther from the action for another turn. And this is how it ends up. So unfortunately, I had this kind of weird plan where I wanted to, which part of me thinks I probably shouldn't have put the steam tank into the combat, but I wanted to get the steam tank closer, and I didn't want to get it maybe right in the open. Well, now think about it, might have wanted to. I don't know. But anyway, the steam tank and the dragon, the spears end up either beating or killing or running. They run down somehow the two Grail Knights. They just probably beat them with static combat res. And they make a long overrun to get in the flank of the Pegasus Knights. And I feel like I had this weird plan to leave like a 1 wound on a Pegasus Knight and break him with combat res and pursue with the dragon and get the spears into the Green Knight, but we just killed them, which I don't know why I thought I was going to be able to do that. So, yeah, so what we do end up doing over here is, and since the riders failed their march block, they just end up chaffing the questing knights. They end up killing 3 with their pistols and then just kind of chaffing them up, which in hindsight, I also probably could have moved them 8 inches to get out of their charge arc, and I don't think they would have had a charge arc to much else. Maybe I would have had to place the Pegasus in a different spot. I don't know, but yeah. Anyway, here we are. The dragon's got two blocks of knights crashing into him, and it's about to get into a duel between this divine judgment bro and my prince. So let's not waste any more time. These peasant bowmen also charged the flank of the steam tank, which was a smart idea. I can't grind through that many in one turn. Even if I think I might have used my breath weapon too already, trying to kill some knights earlier. It's got Oaken Throne up, and I think that's about it for the magic phase. And so I had perception of strength on my opponent, and I think just +1 armor, so I think I had a 5-up armor save total against all his attacks. He ends up doing 4 wounds to my dragon, and the Sonnstahl goes back and just goes and kills the Grail Duke. So yeah, but unfortunately, even with the success of winning the duel and killing my opponent's general, just got so much combat res against me. I mean, it's 3 ranks, 2 banners, a BSB, and a charge. I think I was maybe insane Because I think I did one more wound with my dragon against the Grail Duke, and I think we were tied on wounds. So I think I needed literally, I think I needed a sub or a double one on the dice. I think, yeah. Oh, you know what he did do though is he did bring back one of his Grail Knights in the Magic phase. But either way, the Dragon flees. Not too surprising. That's just you know you can't hope to make such a good dice roll, unfortunately. And unfortunately, also, my Pegasus was too close, and he fails his discipline, which I had realized I had done a few times. Unfortunately, playing this list, I need to get better at making sure they're not 6 inches together. Yeah, because that didn't need to lose 350 points because I failed a Discipline 7 test. So. But that's unfortunate. And I think this is much later on. And then really the only other thing that happens is the Spearman hold. Yeah, and there wasn't really any overruns for my opponent. But the way we're all kind of lined up on that hill, so he just sort of, and he's kind of just so tight together. There really wasn't a whole lot those lance bricks, which is one of the things KOE does suffer from. Is sometimes they don't have a lot of options to reposition after combat, and they're just so tight together. So the questing knights turn to look over. They blew through the riders, no problem. And yeah, I think I sacked the champion against the Green Knight. That sounds about right. Yeah, so this would probably be Empire Sonnstahl turn 4? 3? No. Yeah, this must be at least turn 3 or 4. Doesn't matter. We'll figure it out. And yeah, so we've got a bit of a countercharge with the giant and the heavy infantry into the peasant bowman to at least just free up the steam tank. And we're actually in a decent spot because the Knights of the Realm can't see the spears, and the Knights of the Grail can't really make their way past the Green Knight. Either way he turns, he's just his lip is sticking out, and then the Grail Knights also just can't make a wheel either. Otherwise, they just hit their other block. So he's kind of he's definitely going to have to just sort of reposition after this next turn. Which this might be from a little bit of magic and shooting. I'd kill another Grail. Or actually, no, just the Duke's gone. We easily beat the Bowman and turn to look like this. Still just plugging away at the Green Knight, not really able to do much. I think he's got a wound on him right now. And yeah, so my opponent on this is probably his turn 4. He does a big reposition where he does a big march with his Knights of the Grail and kind of swings around the hill to look at my spearmen. And the Knights of the Grail just sort of back up, knowing they're pretty much going to get charged by something. My opponent puts Entwining Roots on my handgunners. I think we just lose some more spearmen. It's kind of interesting. This fight was kind of swingy where like sometimes the Green Knight was kicking ass, and then other times I would actually win by like 1 or 2, and he'd have to take like a test, and he was fine all the times. But it kind of like was kind of like it was interesting where it's kind of like, oh, he might, because I do have the banner, the Legion standard, so I have static combat res 5. Yep, 4 ranks and a banner, which is pretty solid. So yeah. But yeah, never mind. So Emperor Sonnstahl turn 5, Giant and the Knights of Sun Griffin make a charge into the questing knights. I think the heavy infantry charge too, but I ended up making it with the other units, so I just put them in. And yeah, that's about it. The steam tank goes on the Grail Knights. The Artificer comes out to chaff the Knights of the Realm block, and yeah, that's about it really. Beat the questing knights with the giant and the Knights of Sun Griffin. We poke another wound on, but yeah, my opponent, just sticking around. I think that might have been one where it's like we won by like 1 again, and I was like, ooh, it was kind of like, ooh, what if he fails? And then he just passes it. I mean, he's stubborn, so it's really easy for him to make those break techs. And on my opponent's turn 5, Artificer gets beat up. And this is actually the end of the game. We just didn't get through turn 6. I was playing a little too cagey at the beginning of the game, slow playing my opponent. Yep. And that's the end of the game, folks. Actually, yeah, this is where we end up here. So yeah, it's pretty much I lost the dragon, the wizard adept, and the riders. My opponent lost his Grail Duke, his human, his 2 realms, and his questing knights. And oh no, and yeah, he kept and his Pegasus knights. So actually pretty close in points. 1655 victory points to my opponent, 2120 to me. So but I did pick up 2 of the spoils with my halberdiers and my Knights of Sun Griffin, and ended up clinching a nice 15-5 here at the end of Buckeye Battles. So thanks everybody for watching. Hope you enjoyed these Dragon Battle Reports. I got one more Dragon Battle Report I'm going to do that I played I think at the end of July, when I was kind of wanting to play the dragon at strength in numbers, and then I decided on a different Empire Sonnstahl list. And I did not take pictures at that tournament. But I have some great Ogre Cons content coming up from a tournament I just played at in October. So you're definitely going to be able to look forward to seeing those pretty soon. And want to give a shout out. Let's give it up for Jeff Parkhurst, everyone, for being a great guy and hosting Buckeye Battles for us all down in Delaware, Ohio. And I almost forgot, actually, before I ended this video to say who won. So, I mean, this was forever ago, but Justin Briggy won. With, I would say, honorable shout outs to Mr. O'Brien Jennings for getting 5th place. He's one of our guys from Michigan. Mark, my round 3 opponent, got 6th place. Andrew Ratman, another honorable mention, got 7th. And then myself, and Dave Fott, 13th, very solid too. And then myself there down in 14th place with 63 battle points and a considerably medium 12,334 victory points and 113 points overall. So felt pretty solid about that. Couldn't really complain too much. Probably could have placed a little bit higher had I just not really flubbed my 4th game, right? But then that's what we all think. So, and shout out to my boy Max Lacora. The 20th is OgreCon. I think that was the first time I played ogres at a Ninth Age tournament. So, and this is where we now will sadly end our video and say thank you all for watching. Feel free to continue watching and look forward to more Ninth Age battle reports. See you, everybody.